Well, we've had 3. We've used Samuel 3 times. So he did an extension, 2-floor extension down the side of the house. He's done some work on the driveway, and he has redone our bathroom and toilet. Generally speaking, once we've met Samuel and seen the quality of his quote and the quality of his work and feedback from other customers, I didn't have any problem. I didn't have any worries. Prior to meeting Samuel, I did, because builders don't have the greatest reputation and you are worried about what you're going to get. But Samuel was very clear that we had to go and talk to other customers to understand how he worked and be sure that we knew who we were going to be working with. And his quotes was 8 or 9 pages long, and I showed it to someone who worked for me, who worked in the building, and he sort of said, the bottom line is very good, but the detail is superb, so that it doesn't give the builder any wriggle room to say, well, I need to charge you extra for that. It's all very, very clear, and the breakdown about you pay that then. Yeah, I felt really very comfortable about it.
And I think meeting Samuel as well, I think there's a real connection. So when you meet someone and you think, I like this person, but I think it was the detail in the quote, how it was broken down. It was amazing, whereas the other builders just gave us a flat figure and didn't really explain anything. So that meant a lot.
Yeah, we're not builders, so when someone says it's X, and then someone says it's X because it's this, and the price they offer is the best price, you win as a customer. I'm winning doubly. So I'm, and as my wife says, Sam's such a nice guy, and his workers are so nice, and they take real care of our property. You feel that they don't want to cause any trouble. I just think it was all of it. It was the person, the quote, the final price, the detail, and the feedback from other customers. It just made you feel that that sometimes you get a price and you think, well, that's too good to be true. But when you get it and you think, well, the detail is really good, and you meet him and you kind of go, well, this guy seems above it, and everyone else is saying, oh yeah, they're so good to work for, so reliable. It all of a sudden it becomes a very easy decision.
But they were bang on time.
Yeah.
I mean, they were bang on time. They were so polite, so friendly. Wanted to take their shoes off, and they just got straight into it. It was. They were very funny. There was lots of singing. Romanian folk songs, I think it was. But it was funny. But they were very respectful. They were so respectful. They were so clean. And every day, at the end of the day, they cleaned up after themselves. Every single day, they were fabulous.
Yeah, and they cleaned not just the bits that we would see. They tidied up where they were working. So there wasn't just stuff left everywhere. It was all put back into piles. So it just looked really professional the whole time. The whole process just seemed, and then you'd have like Samuel or someone else will turn up to drop something off or to pick something up. It all just seemed to be working really collaboratively amongst the whole business. But it never once felt that we were pawns in it. It was all felt that actually this was being done for our benefit, but it had to benefit Samuel and the team as well. But yeah, they were smashing guys, really polite, very conscientious, hard workers. They had rain and they had heat, but they just got on with it. Well,
I think it was very fluid, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, we were very clear about what we wanted, but Samuel came up with some very, very good ideas, and we were able to kind of like mix and match from where we were as to how it was going and how it would look, the best way it would look in the end. So it wasn't like set in stone. It was like, shall we do this? Or Samuel goes, well, why didn't you think about that? And that was really great. So it was never sort of set in stone. You had the plan, but you could adapt along the way, which is brilliant.
And Samuel would like text me to say, can he pop by just to have a chat how things were going? So and often he, you know, if one of us was home and he came by, he'd come and say hello. But we always felt that we were, you know, we knew where things were and that progress was either ahead of schedule or slightly behind or whatever. So we never kind of were going, oh, I don't know what they're doing now. It was always really, really clear that this was it. And again, it goes back to the quote, because the quote was structured and the payment was structured alongside of it. It was very easy to work with. You thought, right, we've just completed phase 4. Right, so now they're going to do this. So you weren't expecting something else to happen, because you knew that after they did this, they'd do that. And you went, okay. So it was easy to talk to other people about it, you know, and kind of go, well, this is what they're doing. It was excellent. Can't fault it. I mean, the real reason we did it was that we had a box room and we have a very large teenage son, and the box room wasn't big enough. So this room, this extension, doubled the size of his bedroom. So he now had a proper sized room. We had space downstairs. So, you know, we were able to spread the clutter out and fill it with more clutter, as is always the way. But, you know, predominantly it gave us a new roof that we needed, which meant that the curve appeal of the house looks better. But the way that Samuel did the extension, you know, we were challenged by the planning team about, terracing, even though we sort of said ultimately we are a terrace already, but the way it looks, from walking past you wouldn't know that there's an extension, because it's blended in so well with the existing part of the house. It doesn't look like an extension, and I think that's important as well. It looks as if it's been here. The roof looks superb, you know, the whole thing. But predominantly it was to give our youngest a decent sized room, which it's got, and so we're all very, very happy. Absolutely, yes. Absolutely. Yes. I mean, if Samuel, we have done, and if Samuel would work in Purley, I know my brother would use him in Purley. He's desperate to find a builder. So yeah, you know, and we've had people come and have a look at the work, and I know one of them has used Samuel subsequently. So
and I think with our location as well on the main road, we had a few people that seen Samuel's banner outside our house. So I think he's done quite a few jobs around this area now.
Yeah, to your neighbours.
Yeah. But we would always recommend.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, it goes back to the quality of work, the quality of people doing the work, and just that, and the value. Because, you know, none of us want to pay more than we have to. But you never feel, you know, actually with Samuel, I always feel that I'm getting the best price he can do it for. But I know that the quality, you know, they've just, as I said, refitted the bathroom, and the quality, the finish of it, the little things that are done that weren't on the bathroom before, and it's kind of like, that's what really elevates it in my mind. The quality of people and the finish. The finish is really top drawer.
Quality.
Yeah, quality, professional, value.
I would just say, welcome back anytime. They're welcome.
Yeah.
And I'll get the pastries out, I'll get the coffee out again.
and again, you know, this is it. We're looking to use Samuel to build like an office down the end of the garden. I'm not even looking to get anyone else to give a quote, because I know what I'm going to get from Samuel is what I want. You know, and already it's like conversations around, well, you know, what is it you're after, and how we can, you know, manage it. So yeah, absolutely.